here we go. Orphans, ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to another review from us. This time it is the third generation, the latest generation Kubota M7 series tractor, and I think if memory serves me well, it was originally launched in about 2014, obviously with the first generation M7, and since then, like all products, it's had various updates along the way, often driven by emissions these days, so it now meets stage 5, but along with that they've refined a few things and it's got a few extra features as well, which we're going to talk about in this review as we go along. So, quick overview of the M7 series range. 3 models in there. They range from about 130 horse to 170 horse. Our particular model is the M7 173 Premium KVT. So the KVT is the continuously variable transmission model, which like I say, this one is. With this model, it's rated to about 170 horse and gets about, I think it's a 5 horsepower boost, whereas the 2 smaller models in the range, they receive a 20 horsepower boost. Now, depending on where you're watching this, if you are watching it on one of our social media platforms, as ever with a lot of our reviews, this review will probably run out in a few minutes. So to get the full review, please do so. Go and head on over to landpowertv.com. You'll get the absolute full fat review, no adverts either as well, spoiling the party. And we also put all the specs with the video review there on that landpowertv.com, and we'll also probably put a link to the manufacturer's site as well if you want to know a little bit more about this tractor. So without further ado then, let's get stuck into this review. So we'll kick off with a bit of capture and a bit of talk about the environment which we find ourselves in with this Kubota M7 3rd gen. We'll start logically, we'll start with, access. Access, pretty damn good actually. Nice wide steps on the way in, not a lot to catch your clothing, overalls on the way up, plenty of grab handles, that kind of thing, and lots of space between the door, the passenger seat, and the driver's seat, so dead easy to get in and out. And once you are on the seat, hang on, we'll take a little pause there, just a sec. There is plenty of steering wheel adjustment as well, hopefully you can see that. Just press the pedal on the floor like many tractors these days, and like I say, you get lots of steering wheel adjustment for you. And then added to that, there's a nice bit of seat adjustment as well. This position that I'm in now, the seat is slid all the way back. It would be nice if it could go back a little bit further, but they do have a bracket behind the seat which serves as, it mounts the bracket for the fire extinguisher holder, which is, I think it's mandatory on continental Europe. And it also houses, well, it is a bracket for the pick-up hitch lever, release lever. So unfortunately, that does limit a little bit the amount of seat movement from, forward to back. Speaking of space, there's acres of space, from side to side. It's a big, open and airy cab in that respect, from side to side. You've got your main controls here on your right hand side, and then it just all sort of falls away and you feel like you're sort of perched up, kind of surveying your surroundings. And with that, you naturally get pretty good visibility all the way around. And because it's a 4-cylinder, you've got, a relatively short nose bonnet on there. The mud guards are nice and curved, they just fall away. I've got loads of visibility down to this rear mower on my right hand side. Upwards visibility, there is a little bit of a roof window up there, which does open. It'll probably, it'll help a little bit for some load of work. To be honest, it's a little bit of a token roof window. You sit on some of these other tractors and they've really gone to town with a massive roof window up there. So maybe that could be a little bit bigger. but the other thing is, you've got this massive, huge sun visor. It just swings 180 degrees, so it can cover that little roof window there, or you can bring it down a bit, which, you know, it's nice and simple actually. Like I say, it's huge. Dash wise, as you may have seen before, that all moves with the steering wheel, so that's always in view. It's nice and big. The only thing is, I mean, I've got to say, is it's kind of looking a bit slightly dated, you might say. You know, absolutely fair enough. It does everything you want, to be honest. It shows you everything you want. You've got nice big analog dials for your RPM, fuel level and temperature gauge, and then you've got this just this mono-coloured LCD screen in the middle, which gives you a little bit more information, such as forward speed, the direction you've selected, things like that. Oh, and your AdBlue level as well, and the pressure in your air tanks. So, you know, it's got it all. It's got it all. It's all there, perfectly functional. Just looks a midgie's old-fashioned. So on the main armrest then, like I say, it is all your primary controls, pretty well laid out. Most stuff falls relatively well to hand. It's pretty clear as to what all the buttons do. They're all pretty well labelled. I think later on, I think we'll park up for a little bit and just go through a little bit more in depth about what they all do, and particularly some of the screen navigation, which it's got to be said, before we even get to that, the navigation of the screen and how it works is brilliant. It's dead simple, but like I say, we'll get to that in another little bit. I think we'll just have to park up for that one, because it'll be a lot easier to explain. But as to this layout, and actually what it's like to use, I mean, overall the layout's pretty good. I mean, I'm mowing today, so I've got my front mower lift and lower on that axis on this joystick, and I've got my rear mower lift and lower on that axis of the joystick. They're all completely assignable. I'll explain those in a bit, which makes it really user friendly. I would say with things like, if you've got the guidance, you're going to have to sort of reach down here for that. It's, you know, you've kind of got to steer your way in between a few of the controls just to get at these buttons down here. It would be nice if there was a button on here somewhere, anywhere on this main drive lever. Just making it that little bit more convenient, really. But overall, it's all perfectly functional. You know, it's a bit of a Kubota thing. You know, it's all perfectly functional. It's spot on for what it does. Maybe just do with a little, maybe just a slight rejig of where things are slightly positioned. And then another little side note, I suppose you could say, just the build quality and the way they put everything together in here. It's all, you know, it's all good, solid stuff. You know, this is proper solid. It's all good stuff. They haven't skimped on that at all, I don't think, and I think it should stand the test of time. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, if you've been using M7 for quite a while now, chuck it in the comments. Say, "Oi Jim, you're talking absolute cobblers," or back me up, one or the other. So I think, boys and girls, that'll do for a little bit of cap chat. I mean, rather than me just keep explaining it, I think, you know, you can see for yourself from these various camera angles, you can see what it's like, you can see how I'm getting on with it, and hopefully you'll pick up a little bit more of a flavour of what the cab's like to live with, you know, as we go on with this review, as I'm talking about engine, transmission and various other bits and pieces. So for now, that'll do for cap talk. We shall see what else we can find with this tractor. Right, time to talk a little bit about engine and transmission.